We are going to learn how to make a professional presentation. In order to do that, we will use OpenOffice Impress. So open our OpenOffice Impress document. We will learn how to make a professional presentation because for instance, because we need to present a work or a project or the result of our activity in a professional context, for instance, in our workplace, in our company, or at university. In order to do that, we want to create a proper layout for our slide. Open OpenOffice Impress document, a new one, and save it with a new name. For instance, Presentation University. Let's pretend that we are working for the University of Padua. Let's look at the menu that OpenOffice Impress offers us. So under File, you have a different selection, Save As, and printing options. Printing options are really important because we might be asked to provide specific printing, slides, layouts, notes, outlines. We will see the meaning. And also, for instance, we want to print more slides per page, and we can choose here the number of slides. You can also choose different contents and size. Edit. We might need to use paste and paste special. View. Different view options. We are in the normal new option, but we can be asked to see the outline, the slide sorter, the slide show. This is how the slide will result in the final presentation full screen mode. The notice page, when we will write notes for every slide, handout, and master. This is what we are going to use in order to create our template, so our shape which represents our company or our university. We might be asked to insert some headers and footers. This is really similar to text editing when we use the OpenOffice Writer, and these are options for zooming. Insert. We can insert a new slide, we can duplicate the slide, insert page numbers, date and time, or different fields, date, author, page number, page count. Page number is the number of the page you are working or you are looking at. The page count is the total number of slides. The file name. You can insert some comments. You can insert a table, movie and sound. Insert also formulas. This is really useful if you are studying engineering. And inserting charts. File. You can insert file in this sense. Let's imagine that you are on a train and you are thinking about the presentation that you will show your colleagues, and so you take out your computer and you write some notes about the content of the slides. You save the content of the slide in RTF, rich text format, or TXT. You can import the content into OpenOffice Impress in order to create an automatic slide presentation. Format. This is really similar to text editing and OpenOffice Writer. So the character, the paragraph, the bullet numbering. You can choose different format for the page, for instance the color, different backgrounds. Line area or slide design, slide layout. Tools. You might use it in order to correct the spelling of your document. In slideshow, you will find the option to include different animation for the slide transition. So in the transition from one slide to the following one, you can choose a specific animation, and you can also custom an animation inside each slide. You can have different options for the window and the hub. Let's say that we want to create a proper presentation for our university. We work for the University of Padua. We create a template specific for our department. So, we create a new master slide. View master and slide master. You have a box dedicated to the title of the slide, a box dedicated to the content of the slide, and you have different outline levels, a content for inserting the date and time, the footer, which might be, for instance, the author name, your name, the department name, and, for instance, the slide number. Okay. I want to prepare a slide which has a space dedicated to the university logo. So I reduce the boxes. I want, for instance, the number to be at the top of the slide. I want the title to be a bit smaller. I can choose here to insert not only the number of the slide, but also the page count. So I put a slice in here and then insert fields page count. I want to insert the logo of the university. I reduce the box here. I choose to insert picture from file. I have the university logo. And I want to insert an additional object with the name of my department. You have here different objects or different shape to insert. You have lines, arrows, rectangles, ellipses, some fixed text, and you have curves, you have connectors, and you have basic shapes. You can use some basic shapes and connect them. This is really useful when you prepare a workflow diagram. You have also some smileys, some shapes. You have additional arrows, further other shapes. You have um, balloons, stars, and so on. Let's say that I want to insert a vertical scroll. I want it in a specific color, so color, I choose orange color, and I will write a text in here like department of. I want to insert additional lines. I can specify the width, the color. Okay, let's end here. Uh, let's put some additional lines. You can play a lot with PowerPoint. You can create whatever you want. For instance, let's say that you want to put a different color in here. You can create a box, okay, because you want it to have a specific color. And you want it to be underneath the written text. So, for instance, you want it to be salmon. No, really bad. Okay, and you want it to be underneath. So the alignment, you arrange it back to the number of the page. Um, Save it. You can edit the title text format. For instance, I want it to be I want it to be, instead of sans serif, I want it to be serif. Okay. And I can also choose to set a different text format for the outline, but I leave it like it is. Now, you can also choose to have a different format here. For instance, I want it to be Arial and a bit bigger, for instance, 20 points. And also I can choose here to have something a bit bigger. I can play a lot with it. The footer, I want it to be Arial, so sans serif, and okay, big enough. Okay, I save it. And now I close the master view. Every time I add a new slide, I will have the same layout. So in this way, I created a template. So as you can see, I don't have the date and time, I don't have the number of pages, I don't have any header and footer because I have to write it down. In order to insert them, I choose View, Header and Footer, and I choose to show it. In this way, you can check that you can see each zone. For the footer, I write, for instance, I can choose to put, for instance, my name. And I choose here, apply to all. But basically, you can also choose to apply one by one, but I will apply all. You can also see that you can have a fixed date and time or a variable date and time. You can also specify the language. as you can see, I have an error here, so I put the slash not between the number of slides and the page count. So I edit the master slide, so view master slide master, and I correct it. Okay, saved. You might find it not useful, but when you create a presentation, when you are in a professional environment, it can be helpful for your audience to know how much your presentation will last. Remember that to make a proper presentation, you must be really synthetic, so less words you use, better it is, because it takes a lot of time for your audience to read what you write. And it is really important to insert in the slide a lot of images. A slide presentation which will last, for instance, an hour might be really boring. And also it is useful for the audience to know at which point you are in your presentation. And so this is why I really like to put the number of the slides relatively to the number of the total slides I made. So it is really useful for the audience. It can be also useful to make a list so that a list of arguments so that your audience know what you are talking about and what you talked before. This is for a professional environment. Unfortunately, in the IGCSE exam, you're not asked to create a PowerPoint presentation which is a smart PowerPoint presentation. They want you only to execute some specific commands in order to demonstrate that you are able to be professional in making a presentation. However, remind always that you have to care about your audience. Okay, so this is our small presentation. Now we want to add some contents. When we add some contents for, as I said before, an RTF file or a TXT file, we must start from the outline. Okay, let's insert some text. We insert the text from a file. The file I am using is a file that you can find in your in the folder which is present in your DVD inside the books. So it is the books materials. Problem. I will fix. I am back with the presentation. So outline. We want to insert the text that we had written in the train, thinking about the presentation that we are making for our university. So, insert from file. This file can be found in your DVD belonging to the IGCSE book. It is called PowerPoint.rtf. And here it is. You have imported the text. We have only to manage a bit because as it is, you will have, for instance, the first slide empty and the following slides. In the normal view, you see the following slides with basically it had interpreted your document as it were formed by titles. So a list of titles, while it isn't. So there are some titles, so some parts which are titles and some others which are not. So this is the main title for the presentation, and this is the listing contained in each presentation, in each slide. So how to do this? Let's say that there is a hierarchy between the items here. So, for instance, and this items have to be promoted or demoted. So promoted or demoted. So I will show you how. This, for instance, had to be, I click on demote and promote because this is the main title. I delete also this ground. Okay. These items have to be demoted and not promoted because they must belong to the first slide. And here it is. This is not an icon, but it is a title, so it has to be demoted and promoted. Okay. And the following text has to be demoted. I show you which is the layout, the final layout as it will be. Okay, this slide will be probably deleted. I can delete it from here, so I click in it and I press count. So this is the first slide, what is PowerPoint. Okay, as you can see in both of the slides, the format I choose is the format I will see in the final layout. Yes, I'm talking about the format I choose in the master slide. Okay, this is wrong, so we stay in the outline. Probably, okay, pathways. Okay, this itemization belongs to the pathways slide, so they have to be demoted. Easy of use has to be promoted. This item has to be demoted because it belongs to the slide. This has to be demoted and promoted. And the following must be demoted. You can use this arrow to move up some contents. For instance, you want to move the slides or the title and so on. So you can also use these arrows, but let's say that the most frequently used are promoting and demoting text. Okay, the final layout, we can click on normal. The final layout is like this. If I change anything in the master slides, will produce a change in the final layout of the slides. So let's say that we want to see the master slide, okay, and we want this layout not to be Arial, but for instance to be, let's choose a strange type of character, for instance this one. Or let's try some handwriting. Okay, we want, okay, this is the outline text format. The second outline, we choose it to be Arial. And the third and the following one, we choose them to be just a try one. Okay, I save it, I close the master view, and as you see, it is automatically changed. Okay, I see that there is an error here. So the outline for teachers have to be demoted because these two items belong to the second items here. So this has to be the final layout. I click on normal. Okay, and it follows basically the rules we set for the slides. As you see from the master slide, we choose to have Bradley hand for the first outline, and the second outline is Arial. And this is exactly what we expected. We add the header and footer, date and time and the slide number, and the footer text would be my name. I guess we missed something. The date and time. I choose it to be variable, so it is for today. Okay, and it compares exactly. I can also choose a different format here. So header and footer. For instance, I can choose this one. So I have everything. I have my footer, I have the page number, I have the date and the time. You can play as much as you want with PowerPoint. It is really flexible and really easy to use. Now, we want to insert some animation. Let's start from transitions. Slideshow, slide transition. So, for instance, wipe up, wipe right, and so on. You can also choose the speed, and you can also put a sound. You can also advance slide on mouse click or automatically. You can apply to all slides. Let's apply and let's see how is the final layout. Okay. Here you can play as much as you want. It is really, really funny. Okay. Let's close it here. Let's add additional animation inside one slide. We select, for instance, I want this listing to compare item by item in different ways in different moments. So, custom animation, I add an animation. For instance, fly in, speed very fast, let's try it, and I click OK. So let's look at which is the effect. Okay. I can also choose to do it one by one by adding start with previous no on click or start after previous, and I can also choose start after previous here. Let's play. Okay, it is really, really fast. Let's make it a bit slower. Okay, so let's choose something else. Here you have different directions. and see that we want to choose it on click. Let's play. Okay, slideshow. This is what will happen when you show. So I click, I have the first item, I click, I have the second item, it's really slow, and I click, I have the third item. Here you can play as much as you want and play it, because can it can give a lot of help when you are making a presentation. It can capture your audience attentions. Okay, let's save it and let's making some notes and let's print them. I want to make notes. For instance, I have prepared a presentation for my students and I want to write additional notes. For instance, so I click on notes. If you don't have this layout here, this window here, you can also choose view and notice page. So clicking here uh, gives you the same information as here. Handout, it's the say allows you to visualize the final printing if you want to print, for instance, 6 slides. Okay, notes. I want to add additional note as this is an important slide uh, because it explains you the procedure. The procedure can be improved. Okay, this is an example of how a note can be made. Because I guess that when you will create a presentation, you will use has many images and many animation or videos. This can be really helpful. I save it. If you are asked to show an evidence of the animation you made, you can make a screenshot. Remember how to make a screenshot of uh, this zone of your presentation, or this zone which appeared when we clicked on slideshow and slide transition. You remember? Okay. If you are asked to see the animation you inserted inside a slide, you must click on slideshow custom animation and make a screenshot of this zone of the the program, so that you can show an evidence of what of the animation you added to the PowerPoint, to your presentation. So if I were you, I would make a screenshot of the screen. Okay, last but not least, how to print. So, File, Print. And here, let's see how the final printing will be. So, I will print as a PDF. This is analog to your PDF creator printing. Okay, I will print all slides, but I might be asked to print not all slides, but for instance the first three slides, 1, 2, 3, and not the following one. Or for instance, I can also choose to print only the 4 and sorry, the second and the fourth slide. Okay, only 2. And I can also print the slides, but also the handouts. So all the slides in a page. I can choose to print notes, so slides with also the notes below. And if I choose to print the slides, I can also choose to print a specific number of slides per page. So I click on handouts and for instance 2 slides per page, 3 slides per page, 4 slides per page, and so on. If you need to print slides with notes and to print more pages, more slides per page, you can choose Documents, Notes. Here nothing can be changed, but if you click on Page Layout, you can choose how many pages per sheet. Can be 2, and as you can see, you can visualize the notes. It can be 4, and so on. You can draw a border around each page, or you can make a brochure format, which is really nice and can be useful. Include all pages or front and right pages. You have here a preview of what your final printing will be. So before printing, check always the preview. You have additional options: print to file, which is equivalent to printing to PDF, create single print jobs for collected output, and use only, okay, this is printer options. This is all. I suggest you to play a lot with your OpenOffice Impress. Add animations, learn how to make a proper master slide. It is useful because you will use slides or your work lifelong. And preparing a professional presentation is useful for your professional image, for your working environment, to promote you as professionals. I hope this video was useful.